Quiet on set.
Rolling.
Action.
Action.
Wow.
Hello. So I'm Sebastian,
And I'm Caitlin.
and today we have here with us a special guest.
Yes. Special guest,
Hello.
introduce yourself.
I am James. I go to school with our two lovely hosts. And the second they told me that the next episode was going to be Uncharted related, I knew I instantly had to be a part of it. So here I am. And I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We're excited to make this happen.
Mhm.
So welcome back to another episode of Movie Review. As James said, today's episode is Uncharted.
Yes. So when did we see this film?
We saw this film about
March?
2 Tuesdays ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even know it was still in theaters at this rate.
Yeah, it came out. Let me see. It came out officially February 18th. So it's been out for a little bit. And it stars Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, Sophia Ali, Tati Gabrielle, and Antonio Banderas.
Love it.
That was quite the
Love
cast.
Antonio.
Quite the cast. Directed by Ruben Fleischer. I can't say that I recognize that name at all, but I
Definitely
really
not.
enjoyed it. So shall we go into what this movie entailed?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so many of you might know Uncharted because of the video games that
Mhm.
I never played personally. Not because I don't want to, I just haven't had the time or whatever it is. But I do have the game, and eventually I'll play it. So, as you may know, video games translated to movies usually don't do great.
Usually. Yes.
Usually,
They've been getting better. They've been getting much, much better.
Mhm.
Sonic the Hedgehog and this movie gave like a glimmer of hope for video game
That's
adaptations.
good because I didn't even see Sonic, so but I've
Yeah.
heard good
Sonic the
things.
Hedgehog is really good, but that's not today's topic. So
definitely gotta go see it then.
Mhm.
But yeah, this movie is obviously based on Uncharted, the game, the video game, and it just takes place in a place where Tom Holland is trying to figure out like what happened to his late brother,
Well,
and
potentially
potentially late brother,
brother.
the brother that he lost.
Yes, mind you, that the main character's actual name is Nathan Drake, and
Yes.
he is recruited by the character Victor Sully Sullivan to sort of recover this lost fortune that Nathan's
Spanish
older
fortune.
brother was like obsessed with, had some positive knowledge on. And the movie basically opens up with Nathan and Sam in like an orphanage foster
Yeah.
home sort of situation there. It's clear that they have like this adventurous this sort of criminal side to them as they break into a museum to try to steal a map. So
Which doesn't go well.
which doesn't go well, obviously. So Sam either faces being arrested, or he could just
Leave.
disappear
Which he
and
did.
be free, which is what he did. So that's the last time Nathan ever saw him. And so he's really sad. But then we see Nathan in the future as the adult Tom Holland.
Bartender.
He is a bartender in New York and also a little bit of a swindler as he, kind of steals
A
some
little bit of
watches,
pickpocketing
a little bit of
here and there.
pickpocketing. He's very skilled at it though, because even the audience doesn't really pick up on it until you see him pulling out the things that he's found. But he is being tailed by Sully, because of course Sully is sort of been watching him and wants to recruit him to finish what his older brother started. So yeah, and that takes them to a auction house, a very glamorous one, where they are auctioning off this key that the character played by Antonio Banderas.
It's a cross that many people don't know that it's a key.
It's a key. We as the audience figure that out, but
it's the MacGuffin in more simpler terms.
Of course.
Yeah.
So Antonio Banderas' character is from a Spanish family at that, who believes that this cross belongs to them by their blood right. He's very rich, so of course he can afford it. So Nathan and Sully have to go to extraordinary lengths to cause a distraction in order to steal it. We know immediately from those interactions who is technically the good guys and who's technically the bad guys, as Antonio Banderas' character has a lot of people working for him and wanting to help him out. So there's this grand escape, but they do get the cross. at that point.
Which then leads them to Barcelona.
Yes, nice little Barcelona. And that's when we meet another character who I guess worked in some capacity with Sully, but clearly they had a falling out with each other. Let me find her name. I was forgetting.
Chloe Fraser.
Chloe, yep, that's her name.
Chloe Fraser.
So she's played by Sophia Ali. And so Chloe, she's at first super apprehensive and tries to steal the cross for herself. But little does she know that Nathan's very quick on his feet, can catch up with her, and also knows his way around this very old notebook that he deciphered to
the captain's diary.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated. I won't go into too much detail, but he's able to decipher this notebook, which she can't really do. So of course she's like sort of forced to help them out. So they go to I believe it was like a monastery or just a church, and they went back down into the catacombs to try to find this gold, and they're following the clues.
Which I think is pretty great, but highly unreasonable.
Very highly unreasonable. There's some really funny parts of them trying to get through obstacles. They find out that part of that catacomb has been turned into like a nightclub. And then of course,
was it like a KFC? Another part of
it was like a KFC.
And everything, like Chloe and Nathan are stuck in like a room that's directly underneath a modern day fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's part of it.
Yeah. So we get through all of these different like levels, trying to get to the very end to find the treasure. It's very much, I think,
which made me pretty excited about playing the video game, because I never tried it.
Yeah, but then we get to the end and we find these huge jars and it's just full of sand with some scrolls in it, but like the treasure's not there. You have to like look at the scrolls that are inside of the thing. So Chloe decides to do a 180 and stabs them both in the back. So Nathan and Chloe in the back.
The situation with most of the characters is like a love-hate relationship that you go into like a roller coaster with all of them throughout the entire movie.
Which was translated really well from the games, because it's exactly like that in the games too.
Yeah, definitely felt like you don't know who to fully trust, but you're still rooting for Nathan just because he seems just as oblivious about all of this as us, the audience. So now the bad guys is revealed to have been working with Chloe to obtain the scrolls so that they can find the location of the gold. It was in Asia, but I'm forgetting exactly what part. It was some island. Oh, I'm forgetting.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember the island specifically.
I don't remember the island name.
They had to travel pretty much to the location of where this gold is actually buried. Inside of these ships, which we'll see in a little bit. But of course, Nathan and Sully are also going to be fine. They're one step ahead of the game as well, and they are also tailing Chloe. So now it comes my favorite epic action scene is on this plane,
which is actually the opening scene.
It actually opens on this scene as well. So it's nice having like the 180, like, oh, now we know what happened to get up to this point.
Which is something that the games do as well, and I was really happy with it.
Oh, great. I think I once started Uncharted, and it opened up in like a desert or something like that. I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uncharted 2 is the one that does that trope the most, where you open up having to climb a train that has fallen halfway off a cliff. And then like about maybe 5-6 hours later, you find out why you were on that train and have to replay the whole sequence in a different perspective. So they were taking directly from the games with that idea. Cool. And it was done really well in the movie because they did like an original version of that instead of just taking one directly from the games.
True.
Oh, I love that then.
That is really cool. Yeah.
I just want to point out really quick Ruben Fleischer's filmography, because he's actually doing quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he's done both Zombieland, he's done Gangster Squad, Venom, the 2018 one, Superstore.
Wow.
I love the Zombieland movies.
I had no idea that was
so
him.
good.
What?
Can you believe this? He was a director for Santa Clarita Diet.
I love that show.
But yeah, he's done a couple other ones like shows and movies and whatnot, but those are the main ones, more recognizable names.
That
So he's
helps.
done
So
a
I
bit.
have actually heard of this person. I just didn't know the name.
Yeah, and I feel like Venom probably gave him a lot of
Oh, yeah.
insight into like this kind of action
Mhm.
movie.
Mhm.
And Zombieland, obviously.
Yeah.
Zombieland gave him the experience with like the suave comedy that
Mhm.
Uncharted
Exactly. Yeah,
is
perfect.
known for.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, so now we're in this plane. The bad guys turn on our lead villain, Mancada. So now everyone's turning against each other. They are falling out of a plane. It's a very long sequence of events, but they basically, Chloe and Nathan end up in the middle of the ocean, drifting on this huge shipping container.
To then find
they
this
wash
like
up on a
amazing
resort.
island. Yeah.
A resort island, and they're like, score, perfect, but Sully's nowhere to be found. You don't know what's happening with him. So because Chloe had information with the scrolls and everything, he, I guess in a way, got Chloe to trust him enough so that she was able to like fall asleep with him in the room, so that he could start deciphering the maps. So he discovers where the gold is actually like hidden.
He discovers it by using the letters that were sent by his brother.
His older brothers was sending him postcards from each location where he was traveling with Sully in the past. And those postcards actually helped them discover how to solve the mystery of where the gold is located, which I thought was really nice to like pull that in. I had a feeling the postcards meant something because they kept being brought up over and over again.
Yeah.
But
well, it's the whole Chekhov's gun kind of thing. Introduce something in the first act, you have to use it by the third act.
So yeah, so then he decides he doesn't want to have to deal with Chloe turning her back on him. So he leads her on a wild goose chase, and then he goes to get the gold. Sully's already there for some reason, like he figured it out too.
Well, it's because of the GPS tracker.
Right. Yeah, that's why. And then there's this it leads up to this really amazing action sequence. So Mancada's men have spotted Nathan
after Mancada's dead.
After Mancada's already dead, has spotted Nathan going to the cave where these huge ships are. So they follow him. He didn't really cover his tracks very well by getting a boat and everything. But then Nathan
and going right in front of them.
I know, yeah, seriously. Nathan finds the boats. He hides in the boat with Sully as Mancada's people start getting onto the boats and checking them out. And little do they know is that the whole goal is to pull these ships out of the cave.
Because it just happened that the cave had a giant hole.
It just happened. And it just so happened that the ships were in such good condition that they could handle being lifted off of the ground without crumbling into a million pieces, which is also another fear. So helicopters raise the ships off of the cave, and they start flying through the air to, I think it was like this huge like landing strip boat kind of thing. I forget what those ships are called. So then it leads to this huge action sequence where Sully is able to.
I just want to point out that cave in which the ship was hidden actually reminds me a lot of the cave in Pirates of the Caribbean.
True.
After the mermaid sequence.
Yeah. Although
I can see that. Oh, in the case of this, they stole it directly from Uncharted 4. I mean the sequence of events goes differently, but the final boss fight, I guess spoilers to Uncharted 4. I mean, you had time, it's been out for like 5 or 6 years now, but the final boss fight of Uncharted 4 is on a pirate ship filled with gold.
Nice.
And it's in a cave pretty similar to that. So and as we get into the review process, I could talk more about how this movie kind of cherry picked stuff from the game, but in the meantime, we'll finish up our summary.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's Sully's able to incapacitate the helicopter drivers. Is that the right word for it? Pilots, yep, that's the right word for it. So Sully's now having to maneuver this ship without destroying it, as Nathan is on the actual ship fighting off Mancada's men left and right. Although I guess we should stop saying they're Mancada's men because
they're under
her name's Braddock, played by Tati Gabrielle,
which is the one that kills Mankata to then
Yeah.
take over all of the men.
There's a lot of characters that turn their back on him, but she's like their new leader. So there's this huge action sequence, and there's really close calls. There's some amazing kills. I loved those kills. But I think it ends with this very like climactic point where you don't know if Sully is gonna save Nathan or save his backpack of gold that he's took from the ship, and you're really questioning, like, Sully, make the right choice here. I know you can do this. So they let the ships fall to the bottom of the ocean where they should belong. They'll be the property of the countries where the ships fell. I think he got some gold out of it.
Yeah, like a couple bars.
Nathan had some stuff in his pocket. They did save Nathan. Congratulations, they're buddies. And then James, you mentioned this when we were talking about it earlier. How they have like this little after credits scene
which is actually shown on the trailer itself, which is funny.
Yeah. But then
the mustache scene. I'll talk about that when we get into the review, why they did that. Why they put that scene in the trailer.
Okay, good. Because I was really confused. I was like, I forgot about this, but like, why is he at the end?
Why is it at the end?
Yeah, no,
is no one talking about?
I'll talk about that briefly because there's a whole story behind it.
Definitely.
Okay, great.
But yeah, and then the other after credit sequence is finding out that Sam is alive and in prison, and he's still writing postcards.
Yeah, guys, at this point, literally just stay on the theater or just Google if the movie has an after credit scene. More often than not, they're having like 2 every time.
I blame Marvel for that entirely.
Yeah, Marvel did start that trend. And
no. I want to point out really quick. We found out not too long ago that the Princess Diaries has an after credit scene.
Well, like, it wasn't unheard of in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But Marvel was what set the bar for everyone to be doing it.
I feel like that's when everyone started just like feeling that there's definitely one. Like, why not? Why wouldn't there be one?
Yeah. So now that we have done a decent summarization of everything, how do we feel? Do we love it? Do we hate it? What was the consensus?
I thought it was pretty solid. I thought it was a good first go. I think, and when I first saw the movie, and I actually saw it opening night.
Oh, great.
Because I was excited for this. What I was saying even back then is that I feel like this movie kind of mirrors how the games went a lot. Where the first one, Drake's Fortune, was pretty rough around the edges, but was still pretty good. And then what they needed was that stepping stone to then start to the second one, which is almost a masterpiece of gaming. So I feel like we need a sequel to fully see where this is going to go. The one and only big everything I hate is Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg needs to get out of this film. He was possibly the worst choice they could have ever made for Sully.
Really?
And I know why they kept him around, because they already signed a contract with him before this movie entered production. But like, he's terrible. He was the worst part of this whole movie.
I gotta say, and it's funny you say that, because every time I see it, I'm like, I don't like this movie because he's there.
Yeah,
not because of anything against them.
Just, Sebastian, when you play the games, you'll realize just how poorly he's encapsulating such a brilliant character like Sully.
He just like funny. I cannot take him seriously.
True.
Yeah. Well, so here's the story behind him, as far as I'm to understand it. So this movie entered production like 8 or 9 years ago, and it was originally supposed to be a direct adaptation of the first movie, with Nathan Drake being the age that he is in the video games. And Mark Wahlberg was supposed to be Nathan Drake. And then stuff got shifted around, and then it became a prequel to the games instead of like a direct retelling. But Mark Wahlberg was already signed on, contracts were already signed and everything, so they kind of just shuffled him into another role.
Which makes sense, because now he will look too old for whatever age.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, no, Tom Holland, on the more idea of casting, Tom Holland and whoever played Chloe, I can't remember her name.
Oh yeah.
Both of them were absolutely stunning in their roles, in their respective roles. I think Tom Holland was a great choice for a young Nathan Drake. He's got that perfect. I think that
if you have the opportunity to have Tom Holland and or Zendaya in any of your films, just go for it.
Do it immediately.
I did like how the game or how the movie took stuff from each game and almost turned it to be original. So like you had the pirate boat from 4, you had the wake up in a weird situation and then explain why from later from 2, like you had the whole like Sully Nate dynamic from pretty much all of them. You had the elements of him and his brother's past from the 3rd game. Like they cherry picked a whole bunch of stuff from each game, but then turned it into something original that was pretty solid representation of the franchise as a whole.
And I think it's actually really interesting because it gives whoever has played all of the video games even more opportunity to see this and still be excited about what's about to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've seen this story over and over and over. No, it's completely new and it's just something adapted, and you can be excited both for the new story and also because you're realizing that these different segments are taken from that game that you played, which makes it that much more interesting.
I will also say, while I was already on the topic of Mark Wahlberg, that the reason that they put that after credit scene in the trailer is because there was some serious fan outcry to the fact that Mark Wahlberg refused to grow a mustache for the role. Because Sully's like key characteristic is his mustache.
Okay.
So like the fact that Mark Wahlberg didn't want to grow a mustache for the role angered a lot of people.
Oh, I bet.
So they threw that scene in the trailer because they wanted to say, hey, look, we managed to, we gave him a mustache. Like, and no one knew that it was going to be the after credit scene, obviously, when it was first in the trailer. And I was actually kind of pissed that it was the after credit scene because I was like, dude, the mustache is like his whole character. Like, and that just plays more into the idea that Mark Wahlberg was a terrible choice for this character.
But now now that ties him down to like you have to have a mustache for the sequel of this movie.
Well, the great thing is if they depending on how much they depending on how much they want to age up everyone for the sequel, if they do sequels, he can leave. They can get someone else and go an older Sully.
True.
Definitely.
Like, especially since the after credit scene teases the story from Drake's Fortune, the first game. So just age up all the characters and then ditch Mark Wahlberg.
I don't know. I've never played the games, like I said, so I don't know his personality on the games, but I want to think that Johnny Depp will be the perfect cast for that character.
Needs to be a little bit older, but I kind of like where you're going.
Isn't Johnny Depp though in his like 50s though?
Oh, he can do whatever he wants.
You want someone older than that? Was he really that
I mean,
old
Sully in the games is probably in his 60s.
Oh, wow.
60s to 70s. He's gray haired, gray mustache, like that whole thing. He's been around the block a few times.
Yeah, so the guy that plays the Green Goblin.
Oh,
Willem Dafoe, maybe. It's actually kind of funny because I hadn't ever really thought of who could play Sully. The Uncharted fan film that was on YouTube that gained a lot of traction had a pretty good casting for Sully. I don't remember who it was off the top of my head, but I did like that we had a cameo from Nathan Drake's voice actor in the movie too. When Chloe and Nathan first wash up on the beach and they like walk up to that dude in the beach chair. That's Nolan North. He's the voice actor for Nathan Drake.
Oh, wow.
So how long ago was this happening, supposedly, based on like how old they're supposed to be?
So I mean, the movie seems to be playing with timelines a lot. Like it seems to be carving its own path because I think like they're probably 20 or so years younger than they are in the games, even though we look like we're already almost at the first game. Like,
so the timeline itself doesn't really match.
His late 30s in the games and Sully in his 60s. So I'd say Mark Wahlberg was probably in his 30s in this, supposedly 30s, 40s maybe. And
I think one thing that I love from the movie, as you Kate mentioned it, is the kills. I think
the kills are fun.
Seat for that. I was like, yes.
There's throw smashes, there's ship smashes.
I loved when the guy like got just slammed into a boulder. That was my favorite one.
The action was very, very well choreographed.
Quite graphic. Like, yeah.
That was a brutal death, but it was good. Like, it was very good.
It was really interesting.
Yeah.
I think overall the movie was really well done.
I think it was a pretty solid experience. Yeah.
I feel like I will go see it again because like, is this kind of like mystery movie that you can
Mhm.
probably like, find more things about if you see it again.
Oh yeah.
And obviously you play the video games, and there's so much more information that you can gather from that
Mhm.
and understand the character better. So imagine like watching this movie before playing the video games, then playing the video games, then watching
Mhm.
it again. I think it's gonna
Mhm.
be a whole different experience.
Yeah, definitely.
I do want this movie to succeed, and thankfully I think it did, all things considered, because this is the first movie out of PlayStation Productions,
Oh, okay.
a
Wow.
brand new film studio organized out of PlayStation officially, to adapt their properties into movies and TV shows. So
Okay.
Uncharted was the first project out the door, and
Mhm.
then next spring or next summer we have a TV show based on The Last of Us
Wow.
coming out, and
Uh-huh.
then sometime in the near future, a movie based on Ghost of Tsushima as well.
Oh, that's
With
great.
a
Nice.
three main projects coming out of PlayStation Studios at the moment. So I wanted Uncharted to succeed purely on the idea that I want to see more PlayStation productions.
Yeah.
I played The Last of Us briefly, maybe like 1/3 of it, and
Man,
I
I love The
played
Last of Us.
Ghost of Tsushima, like the first mission. I want to point out, so Uncharted's budget was 120 million dollars, and so far globally they made 226.4 million.
In the eyes of Hollywood, that's not that much.
Yeah, but it's like almost, it's over twice the amount of money that they had.
Well,
in
yeah,
They
it
made
made
a
it.
profit, definitely.
Yeah, but we're living in an age right now where if a movie doesn't make like close to $1 billion, it's a failure.
that. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Like, and I hope they don't see it as such, because I want them to keep going, and I think
Which
they can
what they
only get
did,
better to keep going. But
Yeah.
which what they did with the after credit scene, I feel like they have to give us a sequel now.
Mhm.
There's
Well, yeah.
no way.
I mean, there's plenty of movies that have teased sequels that have never gotten
Yeah.
to make sequels.
Yeah. So stars out of 5, how would you rate it?
Like a 4 out of 5. It probably would be a 5 out of 5 if Mark Wahlberg wasn't in the movie, if I'm gonna be honest.
I love the personal hate for him
Anti-Mark Wahlberg.
because I feel it. I really feel it.
Good question. What about you? What's your stars?
I'll give it a 4 too.
I think I'll also give it a 4.
Yeah, I think it was really fun, really entertaining, and took you out of your seat when you had to. And the action sequences were incredible. And like I said, the kills were fun. And
Antonio Banderas was a very good choice too.
Oh
anything
yeah.
with
Kills and
Antonio
everything.
Banderas.
I love that.
I love him so much, and he
Uh-huh.
played a perfect Uncharted villain. Like,
I want to mention really quick that one moment in which Antonio Banderas kills his own dad.
Even
yeah.
mention that. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Is that
you
something that
guys.
happens in the game?
No, his character doesn't exist in the games.
Oh,
He's a brand new character.
Is there
So,
anything that takes place in Spain or Barcelona itself?
I mean, yeah, Spain comes up every now and again. Kind of the whole world is throughout the whole franchise. You got to think there's 6 games in total now,
True.
and a novel, and there was a mobile game. There's not anymore. There was a comic book series. They've gone to pretty much everywhere at this point.
Shall we go on to some official reviews of this film?
Yeah,
I'm very curious to read these, because
Okay.
I didn't read any official reviews around the time of the movie's release. I was trying to stay as unbiased as possible when I saw it.
Smart, because it's mixed reviews all around.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So this first one's from RogerEbert.com. He gave it a 2 out of 5.
Oof,
and
wow.
this was the reasoning. How is a movie based on a video game more soulless than the game itself? The knock against the world of gaming has been that they lack a human element, but Ruben Fleisch's Uncharted feels emptier than the award-winning franchise on which it's based. Dominated by green screen special effects and thin treasure hunting plotting, Uncharted fundamentally lacks the sense of adventure that turned the Sony games into some of the most beloved of all time.
Wait, hold on. So he insults the games for being soulless, and then says that they're the best PlayStation games ever.
In a
He
way,
contradicts
yeah.
himself.
How is the game more soulless than? How is the movie based on a video game more soulless than the game itself? Yep.
So
And then he then proceeds to go on to say that they're the best games ever.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think he's missing the point on like the relationship between Drake and his brother, and like he's not really trying to find the treasure itself. He's trying to find his brother.
Well,
Yeah.
so I think he's also, like, it sounds like he just has an a hatred for Uncharted, the game franchise.
Yeah.
And obviously you're going to hate the movie if you don't like the games.
Yeah, I will say he did go on to type this out. It's not quite as disastrous as some video game adaptations, and it's at least light enough on its feet to never insult the intelligence of its fan base, as so many of these movies tend to do. However,
Yeah,
Uncharted
I agree
seems
with that.
to want to ride the goodwill of the video game adventures of Nathan Drake more than create any of its own. It takes no risks and feels like a bare minimum effort in terms of storytelling. Roger famously said that video games can never be art. The ones on which this movie is based on are certainly more artistic.
I think that the movie did a pretty solid job incorporating all of the ingredients that makes the Uncharted games the masterpieces they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it stumbled a bit on the landing, but I think that was just because this is their first outing. I think they could get better in time.
Definitely,
Yeah, I think all in all, they did a good job with like what they had. Like no one was expecting much because the reason that it was a movie based on a video game, and we all know that more often than not those suck.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think they did great.
I know I watched, I think it was the Assassin's Creed video game movie.
Yeah.
It came out like a while back.
Yep.
I definitely did not like that one. Like
So,
it's not even compared to how much.
What's really funny is that you can compare it to Uncharted in a lot of ways because it was trying to do the same thing Uncharted successfully did.
Yeah.
It was its own independent story aside from any of the games. It wasn't directly adapting any Assassin's Creed game in particular. It was its own story. And it took elements from each game and tried to be like, hey, look, it's a reference. And like, although I don't fully hate the Assassin's Creed movie, I'm kind of indifferent to it like I am to the Assassin's Creed franchise as a whole.
Yeah.
I definitely think it was trying to do the same thing Uncharted did way better.
Yeah, I feel like I totally was behind this story significantly more than the other one.
Now, one game that I really enjoyed when I was younger was the Prince of Persia. And
I will defend the Disney movie till the end of time. I love that.
I think that movie did really well. I don't know, just to point out a couple other movies, like I feel like we tend to forget that there is people that have successfully done this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
My biggest success when it comes to video game movies, other than Uncharted, obviously, is both Sonic the Hedgehog, the new one, both 1 and 2, actually, and the 2018 remake of Tomb Raider. That movie was really, really good.
And we'll have to see about Mario Bros. Because I know there's a movie coming.
Yeah, December with Chris Pratt as Mario. I'm scared.
Oh no!
I know there was one Mario Bros. Show, I think.
Oh, and there was a movie back in the 80s too. This is the second movie.
Sucks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's got its own charm, but it's definitely not Mario Brothers.
So the next review that I have is from Forbes. And the title of it says, "The critics must be crazy. Tom Holland's Uncharted movie is great." So nice title overall. Uncharted is a swashbuckling good time, a film that deviates in some ways from the video games, but sticks to their spirit, aesthetic, and themes in every way that counts. They go on to say that Tom Holland works quite well as the younger version of the treasure hunter.
Agreed.
Agreed.
And then, of course, brings up the differences compared to the video games. She goes on to say, I was actually pleasantly surprised by Mark Wahlberg's performance. Wahlberg and Holland play well off one another, and as a young Drake and young Sully pairing, they pull it off. Again, we're in the spirit of the game's territory here, more than simply the look.
So I guess she's not played the video game.
She says they still managed to bring the duo to life. Unlike the game's story of the beginning of their partnership and friendship rather than a relationship that's been built up over the decades.
Okay, I'll give her that, because in the games they're already supposed to have known each other for like a good solid couple decades at this point. But in the other side of that, in Uncharted 3, we get to see their origins as a duo, and it's way better played out than the movie. The movie did a really bad job putting the two together, but once they were together, it was fine. But I like the way Uncharted 3 did it better. And in an effort to not make this a way too long of an episode, I won't indulge in that.
I don't know if he's been in any comedy movie, but I just think his face looks funny.
Mark Wahlberg, his biggest comedic thing was Ted. He was in the Ted movies.
My goodness, that is exactly why.
I hope we never meet Mark Wahlberg by all the things that we're saying.
No, I think that is exactly why, because I really like the Ted movie when I watched it 100
And now
million
you
years
just
ago,
can't.
Yeah.
and I just cannot unsee it.
I mean, Mark Wahlberg's entire career and all of his family are kind of just mediocre as a whole.
So the very last review I have is from TheVerge.com. Its title is Uncharted's Road to Gold is plagued by its bros. Drake and his dad in the club meets Tomb Raider, is I guess how they decide to describe the film. It's a testament to the idea that the longer much buzzed about adaptations of beloved franchises linger in development hell, the more likely they are to emerge from it. That is, if they ever do, as warped misfires that might have been better kept in the drafts. Uncharted isn't the first movie that is true of, but unlike so many other adaptations in this class, which tend to feel hamstrung by a lack of understanding of what people like about the source material, you do get the sense watching Uncharted that everyone involved vaguely gets what all the fuss is meant to be about. Uncharted knows what it's supposed to be. The problem is that it is profoundly uninterested in being that thing.
Which is really funny because that's exactly what people were saying when the first game came out.
Really?
And yeah, and look at where the franchise is now as a whole. Like it back when the first game came out, it was also compared to Tomb Raider a lot, and it was compared to Indiana Jones a lot. And
of course,
it was I obviously was too young at the time when the first game came out to like fully know the world around it. But now that I've watched a lot of stuff in retrospect and read a lot of stuff in retrospect, it got a lot of that same hate where it was like it knew what it was doing, but it was doing it kind of wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's its own genre in itself. So like, what else can you do?
Yeah,
like it's with all of the mafia movies, like Goodfellas, The Godfather, all of that. Yeah. You can compare them because they're the same genre, but there is a certain level that you should not surpass because there are like different stories. They do have their own characters. They just happen to be the same, like kind of live, you know.
Definitely. Yeah.
Do you have any other reviews for us?
Those are the three that I chose, but like I said, it's decently mixed. A lot of people bring up the video game comparison, obviously, because it is based off of those. But I don't know. I really liked it. I would totally recommend it to everybody who hasn't.
I would agree.
But
all right, now I guess I have to play the video games and just come back to it and see what's up.
Yeah,
do you have the Nathan Drake collection, or do you have like just the first game?
I think I do have the Nathan Drake collection.
Good.
The one that was free with PS Plus, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Uncharted 4 is available on the PS Plus collection on your PS5, I think. And then if you have any interest going past that, I also own The Lost Legacy, which is kind of Uncharted 4.5. Well, so it was supposed to be a DLC to Uncharted 4. And then it was so big that they released it as its own spin-off game.
Oh,
nice.
Starring Chloe and Nadine, another character from the game franchise, in their own.
Chloe is a character that happened to be in.
Chloe's in all of them, but the first one.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
She took over the role in this movie of Elena, which is the character from the games that is Nathan Drake's love interest.
Which seems to be the case on this one as well, somewhat.
Well, no, what I'm saying is Chloe fills in the role of Elena as his love interest, because Elena is his love interest for the first and the second game until Chloe shows up, and then it turns into Chloe for a little bit.
So Chloe is Chloe in the games, but it's a different like character.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, pretty much, but I think it's just because they tried to age her down and put her in a place where she technically isn't in the game's canon. So
makes sense.
Great. I mean, do you have any other information before we finish the episode?
I think I'm just about good on my nerdy rants of knowing way too much about this franchise.
I don't know about you guys, but I really don't know how big the likelihood of a sequel is.
I think it's
hard to say.
I'd say it's pretty high, but I think it'll be a bit, because I think they're going to focus on some of their other franchises first.
Yeah.
Because the PlayStation Studios family of properties is huge. Like it's almost limitless what they could make from it.
And didn't Tom Holland said that he wanted to take some time off to make a family?
I don't know if it was for family specifically, but I know he was like quote unquote retiring for a few years.
Yeah.
But
it might take a while, but I'll give it like an 80% chance that it happens.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it all depends on how the other projects from PlayStation Studios fare. The Last of Us TV show and the Ghost of Tsushima movie.
Yeah.
At some point or another. But yeah, because PlayStation Studios has so much to draw from, I think they're not going to focus on sequels, at least at first. Because you got to, I don't know if you're familiar with the PlayStation Studios family of brands at all, but PlayStation essentially owns a whole bunch of development studios that have made games like Uncharted, Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Infamous, Little Big Planet, Ghost of Tsushima. Like,
I'm just expecting the movie for God of War.
Yeah.
I would love a God of War movie, and I know the fan casting for that is Dave Bautista, the person who played Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy.
So perfect.
Yeah, I think he'd make a good Kratos.
What is Gamora?
But yeah, I think we'll see a God of War movie at some point or another. I think we'll see how Ragnarok does later on next year. First, that's the sequel to the 2018 game.
Yeah,
I feel like for a God of War movie, I will definitely bring back the character that played Ragnar's son in the Viking series.
I'm not familiar with the Viking series, but
he's obsessed with the Viking series.
But yeah, anyways, that was all from our side, and thank you so much for being here with us today, and thank you so much, James, for sharing your knowledge of the video.
Yeah, of course.
And that was it from us, and we'll see you next week. Hope you enjoyed it. And
cut.